I've been speaking my mind on Twitter for 10 years. So nobody's
Right.
going to question me for speaking my mind with these tweets, except the people you're talking about. And then she tells Cynthia and Pinky that she had already been talking to Porsha about what happened to her. This dingbat busts out with miscarriage. This was great. I realized at that moment I was being Kelly'd.
That's what she said. Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join 3 Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers!
Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Kelly.
I'm Wendy.
And tonight we're talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 17, Episode 3, Ruptures and Redemption. And we'll do our call to action, and we will ask you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are growing, and we appreciate that so much. So please tell your friends and get more subscribers for us, please.
Thank you.
Before we start Atlanta, I just saw West from Summer House was on a podcast. I thought it said his podcast, but I didn't even know he had one. But basically, he's saying that Amanda's taking the brunt of all of this, and somebody actually leaked her phone number, and somebody called her like a home wrecking whore or something like that. Again, we say it all the time. Like, clearly, we don't agree with what Amanda has done or West, but
Right.
people,
Stop.
Stop. He also did say, because the woman who was on the podcast with him asked about the timeline, he said that there was no overlap and that it got serious in February. Everyone was single and it got serious in February. However, I also saw something earlier today saying that he hooked up with Sierra in February. The last time he and Sierra hooked up was February. So that's crazy if that's true. Listen, even if he's lying about when it got serious between he and Amanda and it wasn't February, then that means it was before February. So if you hooked up with Sierra in February, this is craziness.
It's crazy because when he was on Watch What Happens Live wearing that tie from that woman that he was with, Andy point blank asked him about the rumors.
Mm-hmm.
He said, no, it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
He's just listen, he's not credible. Nothing he says is credible. I don't believe a word he says. I don't believe him.
I told you, though, I'm watching Summer House. I just got all caught up. I don't get the vibe from them from the last season that there was anything going on. But, I don't know.
When he was making out with that girl, and then Amanda came over and
Did
she
that
said,
happen yet?
Yes. Oh, you're not caught up then.
I haven't seen that episode yet.
You're not caught up then.
So I'm not all caught up yet. Okay, I'll have to watch that tonight.
You need to get caught up. Yeah,
I thought that was the next episode.
No, that happened already.
Okay, because I saw coming attractions for that, so I'm not all caught up.
Yeah, you got to watch that.
Yeah, because that's the thing that people were skeptical of, Amanda's reaction to him doing that. All right.
And she does it under the guise that she's doing it for Sierra. But then when she walks away, she's like, look at my ass as I walk away. Yeah, no.
Well, listen, I'm not defending Amanda, but when your husband is more concerned with going out DJing, Kyle wants all of the attention. So he doesn't have the wherewithal to show his wife attention. He never has.
Honestly, he doesn't seem bothered by this at all. He's not bothered by this. He's not. And why would he not be bothered? Because he knew. Because they were broken up. They were separated. I think that's true. I think that's what happened. They wanted to get through Summer House so that they could, get to the next season of the new season of In the City.
Yes.
That was already slotted to
happen. And what better
happen.
way to get people's attention to watch this new show?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that she and Wes did this for that. Although, the skeptic in me, there's a little part of me that thinks.
I would not put it past West at all.
I know. I totally agree.
And I'm not the skeptic. I am not the skeptic. You are.
I am. I know. There's just something. There's just something not right about all of this, but I don't think Sierra would go along with it.
Sierra had no idea. I feel like she is the only victim here. She was like blindsided.
Yes. Yes.
She was
No,
blindsided.
I don't feel any sympathy for Kyle whatsoever.
There was that picture of her sitting on the ground outside, and she explained that picture. She had just found out what had happened. She was actually on the phone with Paige. She was on the phone with Paige, and she's like, "I don't know what to do. Like I'm like out here, and the picture had been taken already." She's like, "Should I just go home?" She was about to be walking into some place. Her manager was down the street. She called her manager. That's the guy that came over, her publicist. I'm not sure which it was that was there with her. Like she was totally blindsided. Like she had no idea, and it's not cool. It's just not
What a
cool.
mess. What a mess.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, back to Atlanta.
Back to
So
Atlanta.
K. Michelle went through a 2-hour surgery to remove infected tissue from her prior surgery. And then she goes on to say that prior surgery included silicone injections and she got an infection. And the silicone will always be in her body, which I mean, I would be fearful for the rest of my life then that it's going to cause another infection.
Ago did she have that? Did she say how long ago she had that surgery that caused all this problem?
Well, we learned that she and Phaedra had been talking about it. So I don't know how long she and Phaedra have been friends. I have a feeling that maybe K. Michelle was on their radar to join the cast and maybe Phaedra befriended her because Phaedra just had breast surgery not too long ago, right? Like within the past couple of years, and she was having issues with that. So they were kind of commiserating about it. So I
Wait,
would
Porsha
imagine
was. Porsha and
Porsha.
her.
Who did I say?
Yeah,
Phaedra? I'm
you say
sorry.
Phaedra. No,
Yes.
Porsha. Yeah, Porsha and
I
her.
meant Porsha with all of that. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Porsha, I
Porsha.
think, befriended her, knowing she was gonna join the cast, and then they, trauma bonded, I guess, over their botched surgery, unfortunately. So I bet you she maybe did it knowing she was coming on the show. It's probably pretty recent, I would imagine, because if you're gonna get an infection, it's gonna be recent. It's gonna be shortly after a
So
surgery.
the interesting thing is, like, I did not know K. Michelle. You said you knew that she was on that. What was it called? Queen's Court or something?
Yeah, King's Court. Yes.
King's Court. But she was really everyone knew her from Love and Hip Hop. I never watched Love and Hip Hop. And
I didn't
apparently
either.
that's where she was big. And from what I've been hearing from other podcasts, like I was listening to Bravo and Cocktails, one of the hosts on that was a huge Love and Hip Hop fan and said that that's where K. Michelle was known and she was like a big player in that. And a lot of the Atlanta housewives are intertwined with the Love and Hip Hop people. So
Right,
it
right,
makes sense that she is on this season of Atlanta. Like that, it's not out of the realm of things, which never watched that, knew nothing about it. So
right,
to me, she was
right.
just a new I knew nothing about her. She was a new cast member.
Yeah. I knew she was an artist. I knew she sang.
Yes.
Yeah. But she goes on to say that Shamea came to visit her, Porsha called, and Phaedra and Cynthia sent nice text messages. Nothing about Pinky and nothing about Kelly, which
What
we
about
said
the
earlier.
glam team in the hospital? She had her glam team come to the hospital.
Well, I mean, she was supposed to go home and she went to meet the girls to get her nails done. So yeah, she's not going to show up looking sloppy. Which is
That was
that's
hysterical.
a whole other thing. But yeah, so we didn't see Kelly at all this episode.
I did not even realize that. I mean, you're right. We
I
didn't.
don't think from what I recall. I
We
think that's
didn't.
a
And
little odd.
it is odd, and from what I understand, that her new place that just opened, the grand opening of the Sandy Springs location is closed. It closed permanently shortly after they aired the grand opening. She still has her place in McDonough, Georgia, but that place is no longer.
That's
So
sad. I'm sorry to hear that.
it is sad because she said how long it took her. We know how long it took her to get there and how much money she spent, and then it didn't even survive.
Right. Right.
We know how I know how hard, like, the restaurant business is a tough business. It's a tough
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
And we're going to see what happens with Pinky when, we get a little bit further into this.
Yeah, yeah, that's a whole interesting thing what's going on with Pinky. So, we see Drew goes to Angela's and her daughter Amari is there. She's getting ready to go back to college and she's living with her partner. She got married, so her wife, I guess, right? They start talking about mommy guilt and they flash to Drew and her daughter. Her daughter seems to be having a hard time and she, in the clip we see Drew asking her like, "Are you sad that mommy goes away?" Like, and she just shrugs her shoulders, which to me kind of indicates that probably is what it is. But listen, I get it, like, Drew has to work, and that's her work. Her work takes her away, and unfortunately, when you're not in a good place with your kid's father, who knows? I don't know. Ralph seems like a manipulative kind of guy where maybe when Drew's not around, he is like maybe he's baiting the kids a little bit, like, "Don't you wish mommy were here?" I don't
Yeah,
think he's
so
gonna be supportive, like if they were happily married.
and last episode, you said that just before we came on that you saw that she lost custody and he got the house, and I was like, "Oh, I don't think that's true," but that's 100% what happened.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to me because what came out was the kids were getting to school late or not showing up when she was responsible for them. She had to say to the judge, "Listen, he wants her out of the house, but her and her daughter, that's the older, is it her daughter or her son, the older one?
Her
The
son.
one that her son, her and her son that she doesn't have with Ralph have no place to live. They can't find a place in that short amount of time."
Right.
And that
Drew
blows
might
my
be moving into
mind.
the basement.
Right, that blows my mind that one that Ralph is making $71,000 a month and she's only making 12 when I got to believe she's making that at least from Real Housewives of Atlanta,
Absolutely.
at
And
least.
she's doing these movies, like, where's that income?
It doesn't make
What income
sense.
are you earning by leaving your kids all the time? And I'm not trying to make you feel guilty, I'm just saying,
No,
you're the
she
one
says she's
saying
on the
you have
set.
to leave your kids to
Right.
go to set to film. Where's that income?
I'm just saying the math is not mathing. That's what I'm saying.
Not
It's
at
not
all.
mathing.
The math is not mathing. No. But then Angela goes on to say she lost $2 million in real estate, but she's moving forward with a new property. That's a lot of money.
My heart sunk.
Yeah, me
Can
too.
you imagine? I can't imagine.
No, but how funny was it and how real was it when they all of a sudden they stop talking and they're like, "What is that?" And she's like, "Oh, that's my son on Xbox," and he's screaming. Like, that is what used to go on in my house when Joe would play with it when he was younger. He don't do it anymore, but, well, sometimes. And then we see Porsha is at the nail salon. Cynthia and Phaedra meet her, and then K. Michelle shows up in the same outfit she was wearing when she left the hospital. So she was supposed to go home, but instead she went and met the other women to get her nails done.
That blew me away.
Me too. Me too. She starts telling them what happened, and Portia just blurts out, "A miscarriage?" And even before hearing what K. Michelle said, it was a little weird, wasn't it?
It was a little weird. It was a little weird, especially when we heard from Kay Michelle. She'd been talking to Portia, so she knew all about her silicone butt implant or injection. She knew all about that.
She knew all about it. Plus, on top of that, she knew that the woman was doing, like, fertility things to try to get
Right.
pregnant.
Because she wants a
How
daughter.
what if, God forbid, it were a miscarriage and you just yelled that out? I
Yeah.
mean, Portia, I mean, I can't. I can't. And then, then she doesn't really say anything then, K. Michelle. She just,
No, she doesn't.
asks about Kelly's
Doesn't.
grand opening and, Portia tells her what she heard that Kelly said. And, we talked about this. I think Kelly just wanted to kind of squash it in the moment at the tea party and then had a, later reaction to it. But that's not how you housewife, because
No.
now it's going to
And
be an even bigger problem.
so Angela was on Watch What Happens Live, and a viewer asked her a question like, why did you tell Portia what Kelly said? Angela's like, don't make me the villain because I was being a good friend. Because Kelly was going to tell her as soon as she showed up because she was telling everybody. And she's right. Kelly would have told her as soon as she showed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she was trying to be a good friend. And I think that she was.
I think that Angela knows what to do on this show,
She definitely does. She
and she's
definitely
doing it.
does.
Yep, and
Yeah.
that's good because we
She's
like Angela and we wanna
actually
see her stay.
I mean, this is her 2nd year. I wanna say, I think she was probably the best first-year housewife I think we've ever seen.
I think
Like,
you're right.
just to handle, especially Atlanta of all cities, to handle these women, what they were throwing at her, what Phaedra was throwing at her, the Godfather, the Charles Oakley of it all. She she is actually, and you know what? Andy asked her about something about, like, whose advice do you take? And she said Stacey Rush. Angela Oakley is so much like Stacey Rush, so
Mhm,
unbothered by
mhm.
what these women are throwing at them. Don't you get that?
Yep.
Yeah, so if
You
that's
have
her
to.
mentor, yeah, if that's her mentor, she's gonna be fine. She's gonna be fine.
I mean, I think her IQ's a little bit higher than Stacey's, but whatever. Stacey is
It's okay.
housewifing very well. Follow her lead. Follow her lead.
Which, by the way, I heard Potomac. Did you hear what's going on with Potomac?
I heard Robin's coming back, so that's annoying.
Robin's coming back as a friend of. Stacey's coming back. I think everyone's coming back except for Angela Massey and Kay. No Kiarna, no
Yeah.
Angela. Which,
Yeah.
listen, I'm okay with
We're
that.
good
I'm
on
okay
Kay
with
and
that.
Angel. Yeah, I'm okay too. I mean, Angel, that was a
Did
flop.
I
I
call her
hate to
Angela? Yeah,
say it.
Angel. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
she wasn't great.
she
And they go
wasn't
together.
great.
They're a couple. Like, we lose one, we lose them
I
both.
mean,
That's fine.
I stand by what I said when they gave Kay a full-time spot. I think that was
Damage control.
residual for her getting whacked the season before.
Yep, I think
Yeah,
so too.
by Big Bird.
Yep, sorry. I got sidetracked.
No, obviously, we always do. Cynthia asks Kay Michelle if she thought there was any truth to Kelly sleeping with a married man, and Kay Michelle says, "I don't know what she's doing with her hot pocket." And Cynthia's like, "Hot pocket?" They're
Hot
like, "You know
pocket.
what a hot pocket is."
She had no idea.
I love Cynthia.
I do too.
Cynthia is like the Kathy Hilton of Atlanta. I
I
mean,
love Cynthia too.
she really is though, because Kathy Hilton, out of the blue, became like the voice of reason on Beverly Hills, and now I think, Cynthia was always the voice of reason, even when she was a full time. But this is the perfect role for her because there's no pressure. She's friends with everybody,
Yeah,
and she's smart, and she knows how to do it. She knows how to play the game.
I totally agree. I never heard of a hot pocket either, and I thought it was hysterical. I thought it was hysterical.
Like, feel like you could figure it out real quick with the context of the
Definitely.
conversation.
I just love that Cynthia was like, "Hot pocket? What's a hot pocket?"
They're like, "You know what a hot pocket is."
She's like, "I don't know what a hot pocket is."
Gerald and Shamea are with their girls walking Shia to school. She's in first grade. Shiloh, the baby, is doing well in her therapy. And she says, "My husband is opening up businesses every other month." Now, do you remember in the off season where we saw their house was being foreclosed?
Yeah. What's
I bet
going
you
on with
Portia's
that?
team put that out because I don't think it's happening.
Mhm.
So they start talking about her partnering with the rum company. He does not seem too excited. And then they flash to that meeting where Gerald is running that meeting and asking all the right questions and not getting the answers he wants.
I am so confused as to why Shamea feels the need to do this rum company when her husband is not behind her and he is the business brain of the family. Why is she not listening to him? Is she that desperate to have her own identity?
I think she's that desperate to have her own identity. Not desperate, but I think she wants something for herself and she sees potential in this. But you're right. He is clearly a savvy businessman. I mean, for somebody who does HVAC
Yes.
to live in that home and live that life, listen
Yes.
to the man, because
Yes.
my father did HVAC my whole life. That was his business. He was a sole proprietor. I did not live in a house like that. I lived a very beautiful life. Don't get me wrong. But I wasn't living in what they call it, chateau,
The manor.
Morton Manor.
Morton
I
Manor.
wasn't living
Morton
like that.
Manor.
Yeah.
Right. Morton Manor.
So listen to Gerald, Shamea.
Yeah.
So okay. Then we see Pinky goes to a meeting at the Whitley agency. Clearly, this must be an attorney. And the gentleman that she's sitting with asks her why she's considering filing for bankruptcy individually. And she goes on to explain that she was the personal guarantor for everything. So she was on the hook for all the loans and that her former CFO took money from the company. I can't even believe how many times this happens to housewives where people they trust
Yeah.
just steal their damn money.
It's crazy. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, she was able to buy her company back and then she got hit with a bunch of lawsuits. One was because they played a particular fight in the bar at Bar Vegan. I don't understand that because people go to bars to watch fights all the time. I didn't, I mean, I'm sure New Jersey and Atlanta laws are different, but that seems a little odd to me. The other one was because she couldn't use her liquor license because her investors already had a liquor license.
I didn't
Again,
understand a lot of what she was talking about, to be honest with
I
you.
didn't understand that, but I will say this. She's putting a lot of pressure on herself as a Black business owner, and this really seems to be a theme that you and I would never know anything about. But we
No.
just saw on Summer House how KJ explained how much pressure he felt was on him as the first Black male housemate in the summer share. So it's
Yeah.
really sad to see how much pressure they put on themselves in these
And then
situations.
100%. And then she's putting double pressure on herself as a Black business owner, as a Black female business owner, because her attorney asks her, like, what about Derek? Like, where is he on this? And she's like, yeah, I don't want to get him involved. And we find out he doesn't even know.
But here's the thing, and I don't know how Atlanta laws are, but in the state of New Jersey, if you file an individual bankruptcy and you share a home with someone, if you're married, if you have a spouse and you try to file an individual bankruptcy, they have to disclose their income. They have to. There's no getting around it. They don't have to be named on the bankruptcy, but you're sharing expenses. They have to, when a trustee looks at your debt and says, okay, this is what your trustee payment's going to be, because unless her name is not on the house, again, Atlanta laws could be different. Unless her name's not on the house and the house is in his name and she's just going to say, I pay rent. But if they're legally married, he has to disclose his income. So later in the episode, she says that she already filed.
Right.
I don't think that's true.
Well, I mean, first of all, we don't know if they even own the house they're living in. They could be renting.
They could be renting. That's true.
We don't know that, right? And I think it is true because I think that she wanted to take this personal bankruptcy on herself. I don't think that she wanted to. He's got his own businesses. He's successful in his own right. And she didn't want anything to mess with that. This was because she was, I don't want to say dumb. Informed to personally guarantee a business loan that she didn't have control over because she had a CFO. It's just a bad business decision. That's what it is. It's just a bad business decision. And myself as a female, and I've had a couple businesses and I've had a couple LLCs, and I have always been very careful about my own assets and not personally guaranteeing anything. So if I had to do that, then I wouldn't do it because I wasn't ever going to put my home or my personal assets on the line. And unfortunately, again, we will never know what it's like to be a Black business owner or what it's like to be a Black entrepreneur, right? We won't know that. And I think it's hard. I think there's a lot of pressure because people look to them, and if they don't succeed, it perpetuates a stereotype.
Right. Right.
And it's
which is
not
horrible
fair.
because it's
horrible.
unnecessary
It's horrible.
pressure that they
It's
feel
horrible.
they need to put
It's
on
horrible.
themselves. Yeah, it's
horrible.
terrible. It is.
I mean, it is because when she's talking to the attorney, I mean, she's crying. Obviously, she's emotional. And, the attorney is very kind to her. He's like, listen, you're not the first to go through this. You won't be the last.
Well, absolutely.
Once you get to the other side of this, you're going to come out on top. You're going to be okay. Right? And we find out a little bit later in the episode, she actually had a conversation with K. Michelle about this, and she was very open with K. Michelle. And K. Michelle said to her, like, you need to not be carrying this on your own. Like, you need to talk to Derek because she knows a little bit about Derek, and he would want to be there. He would want to be there
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very sad. The whole
It
thing's
is
very
sad.
sad.
It is sad. It is.
So then K. Michelle meets Cynthia and Pinky at Barney's, something Barney's.
Yeah,
Did you get the name of it?
yeah.
Like breakfast
I
at
didn't.
Barney's or something like that.
Something. I didn't get the name of it.
And we find out that K. Michelle and Pinky were sorority sisters. K. Michelle went to Florida A&M University and Pinky was Atlanta University, but they were part of the same sorority. So
I
that's
love that.
cool. Yeah. Cynthia says in her confessional, she came across a tweet from K. Michelle. I am my own person. I'll sit there and smile and clock it. I'm not with none of that bullshit. And then there was another one that's when we saw Kelly. Kelly read that tweet, activated. It just said activated. And then Porsha reads the tweet, bimbos are the loudest and most confident. Shut your face.
But then we see all the other tweets behind them. Like, I was like,
well,
K.
Michelle says, like, I've been tweeting I've been speaking my mind on Twitter for 10 years. So nobody's going to question me for speaking my mind with these tweets, except the people you're talking about.
Right. Because nobody knew who you were talking about.
Yeah, and then she tells Cynthia and Pinky that she had already been talking to Porsha about what happened to her. And then this dingbat busts out with miscarriage. I mean, she says, this was great. I realized at that moment I was being Kelly'd.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I actually love, that's one of the things I love about K. Michelle. She just like puts it out there. She puts out about the injections. She just puts it out there.
She's got nothing to lose. She doesn't need this show. I'm sure this was a nice opportunity for her, but she's got a whole music career. She doesn't need it. And this is the best type of people to put on these shows.
Yeah.
So like we were just talking about Rhode Island and like Rosie. Like Rosie's clearly trying to make a name for herself. She's trying to be, do the things to make herself stand out. Like somebody like that wants the show because she needs the show. This one don't need the show.
And yeah, it's way more entertaining when they don't need it.
For sure. Cynthia says that she thinks Porsha will apologize if she knows K. Michelle. If she knows K. Michelle, like, it was upset.
Right.
Now, I don't know about that. I don't think Portia's one to apologize personally. But I also kind of believe Cynthia when she said, like, I don't think Porsha was being malicious. I kind of don't either. But it was a weird thing to yell out.
Then what is it if it's not malicious, right?
Was she just like thinking it in her head and said it before she realized? Like, we hear Heather Gay say, like, we don't realize the cameras are around us. I don't know if that's.
And we know
I think Heather Gay is always aware of a camera.
But we know Portia's not the brightest bulb, right? I mean,
she's not.
She's not the Underground Railroad. I mean, so many stupid things Porsha has said.
65 days a year.
Right. Like, we could go through all the dumb-ass things Porsha has said.
So
this could just be her saying another dumb-ass thing.
Right. And I think that's what Cynthia was saying.
Yeah.
So then Pinky starts saying, she doesn't know whether or not she could trust these women. I'm going to go with no, Pinky.
Yeah.
She did tell K. Michelle that she was looking into bankruptcy, and like what you said, they flashed to that conversation, and K. Michelle says you need to tell your husband. And Cynthia, in true Cynthia fashion, says, I am a safe space for both of you.
And she is. I think she is.
And she is, and we know she is.
I like when K. Michelle said, "What's up with Phaedra? All she does is giggle." And then Pinky said, Phaedra said that she eats meat. Pinky's like, I'm on the board of PETA. I do not eat meat. I was like,
I know, like, this is like Phaedra, zero credibility, and Porsha, zero credibility. When they're like, I am the receipt. No, you're not. You say the stupidest shit and then can't back it up.
She does.
The time,
and you know
Phaedra.
what? It's so funny because when Angela was on Watch What Happens Live, she was giving so much shade to Phaedra and Porsha. When Andy would ask questions, she's like, just like, what did she say? One of the things Andy asked is like, what was it like seeing Charles chatting it up with K. Michelle? Angela's like, oh my God, he loved her. It was like two assholes uniting. Angela and Andy's like, he starts laughing. He's like, she's like, no, I like K. Michelle. Angela's like, I love her, but she's an asshole. Like, it's not always a bad thing to be an asshole. And she's talking about like Phaedra, like let her go on with her fake receipts. Like, we all know it's bullshit. She just
Exactly.
calls them out. She calls out Porsha. She calls out Phaedra. Like, Angela is another one. Like, I don't think she needs it. Obviously, she lost $2
No,
million.
she don't need it.
She don't need it, right? She lost $2 million. And she's not afraid to call out Phaedra and Porsha on their bullshit receipts and their
Right.
bullshit lies. And I love that about her. I love
Do
that.
you remember when Charles was sitting next to K. Michelle? K. Michelle in her confessional was like kind of like shading him.
And like I said, like I think Angela got that. That's why she called them two assholes. Like,
Yeah.
they're both assholes.
Yeah.
Because someone asked Angela, I think it was Andy, he's like, do you mind when like Charles like gives you a hard time? She's like, no. Like, she doesn't give a shit. She doesn't give a shit. Like, and Charles doesn't give a shit that K. Michelle was like dissing him. Like, she's calling them both assholes in a loving way. This is who I have. This is what I've got. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing. She doesn't mean it in a malicious way. And that is why Angela is and will always be a really good housewife.
Yeah, she is. She really
Right?
is. Yeah. So now we have Drew meeting up with Blakk with a few dozen roses. And he says that nobody could bring him to Atlanta but Drew. Thought that was kind
Why
of
does
sweet.
Blakk have to spell his name that way? Why? Just why? Tell me just why. Why can't you spell it like everyone else on the planet? Please,
I know.
tell me.
I'll tell you what, though. Like, he brought gifts for her kids, and she
He's
says,
endearing.
you
He's
know,
very charming.
he's very charming, and I really like this scene. Like, I feel like this was actually a genuine, not staged scene with Drew. Like, she wasn't acting. I feel like we get a lot of acting out of Drew on this show. And I don't know if maybe she's just perfected her acting and she's gotten better at it, but I felt like this was a very genuine scene between the two of them.
I don't think Drew is truthful in anything that she does on this show.
I don't
that's-
I normally have the same feeling as you, but I don't know why I believe this scene. Maybe Blakk won me over. I don't know.
I mean, like I said, he's very charming. I actually like Blakk. I don't like the way he
Yeah.
spells his name, but I do like Blakk. I think he's very charming. I do.
He said she gives wife material and not girlfriend material, and she needs to
Right.
finalize that divorce. I
Yeah.
don't know.
He said
I
you're
liked
definitely an investment. You're definitely an investment that somebody else has already invested in. Woo! That
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep. So Angela, back to Angela. Angela
my
and
God.
Amari go see her house that she secretly purchased. She said it was an emotional purchase. It's an entry-level property to lick her wounds and get back into it. So I guess, does Charles not know she bought this property?
well, he knows now. 'Cause
He
she
knows
disclosed that.
now.
He knows now, but he's still not happy about it. But she said she just needs one win, and she thinks this could be her win. I actually think this could be her win, too. At $159,000 for a
Yes.
3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. I don't know the property values in Decatur, Georgia, but I feel like if she gets rid of the spiders and does like a quick cosmetic flip, it might work. Like I said, I don't know the property values in Decatur. I don't.
Right. Right.
I hope she wins this one. I hope this one's a win for her.
I hope it's a win for her because, she starts talking about her mom and,
Yeah.
she's slowly finding out that there's no closure when you lose your mom. I just, of course, I couldn't help but think of Lori and, it
Yes.
just, God forbid, it doesn't seem like it, it's your mom. So, yeah, let's hope that this is a win for her.
I do. I hope it's a win.
Shamea goes to see George, who has a green beard. I didn't even notice that he had a green beard until she said it. And then I was like, wait a minute, what? And then I looked and he's got a green beard.
Oh my God, I missed that whole thing.
Yeah.
I missed
Yeah.
that.
She said something about a green beard. And I was like typing, taking note. And I looked up. I'm like, huh? And there he was with a green beard. But this guy, George, just introduced her to that gentleman, Maximilian, who's going to help her with the rum deal because Gerald is not.
But wait, did she really want to make the bottle like her bum? She really does, right? Was that a real thing? She wanted to
That's
have
a real
rum
thing,
bum?
and she wants to call it rum bum, which I like. I love the name. But,
I mean,
during this conversation, she slowly realizes that she wanted to do a peach rum because she's from Georgia. I get it.
but you can't get peaches in Grenada.
You'd have to import them, which is a whole other expense. And then I don't know exactly what was involved, but she said that they told her, like, it's going to cost you $30 a bottle. And then I don't know what that included and what else she would need. But
Right.
that number, $30, like, made her take pause and be like, okay, I need to figure out if this is financially worth it. So the whole conversation that her husband had with these people is now becoming apparent to her.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's not the type to say, I told you so, but if there were ever an I told you so moment.
This would be it. But I
But
kind of
I'll
want
tell
to
you
see
what,
the
I love the concept of her doing a
rum
mold
bum.
of her
I want to
ass.
see a bottle that looks like her ass.
Can we just do one prototype, Shamea, please?
Yeah. Listen,
Please.
even if you don't put rum in it, like let's just put it out there.
Exactly. I think people will buy it. They could put whatever the hell they want in it. Olive
she
oil.
has a
Remember
great
she did the
ass.
olive branch?
Oh my God, that would be great. She's got a great ass.
She's
She
got a
really
fantastic
does.
ass. If somebody was going to mold their ass, it should be Shamea. Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm so here for it.
Absolutely. So Pinky and Derek are out for a date night at Mistura. They were married a year and they were going to call it quits. And they drove to the courthouse and she said to him, you better not get out of this car. And then they changed their mind and they stayed together. I get the impression that
3
maybe
kids
at
later.
some point Derek may have stepped out. I get the
I don't
impression.
know. You think?
Yeah, I do. But listen, I'm glad that he didn't get out of the car at the courthouse and that they stuck it out. And she
But
starts
she's
telling
young.
him,
Because she said she got she was 23 when she got married and they'd already been dating 3 years. So that means she was 24 when they showed up at the courthouse and she's got 3 kids. Like she's young. She's young. I mean, I have a very hard time telling people's ages. So
me too.
Black women and Black men, it is very hard to tell their age, especially if we don't see gray hair. If we don't see gray hair, how do we know? How do we know? We don't know.
I know. No, we don't know. She starts telling him about the 3 lawsuits and she needs to figure out how to move forward. And he asks her how he can help her financially and spiritually, which I thought was so beautiful.
I did too.
I mean, he's saying all the right things now, so I don't know what happened in the past, but he's saying all the right things now.
And then she tells him what she did. She filed for personal bankruptcy. She told him.
Yeah. And, he's like, this, it said, what did it say on the screen? This is going to be a public something. But what he said, what I thought I heard him say is this is going to be a public nightmare. But it didn't say that in the closed captioning. Now, again, I don't know if she can file without his income information unless, well, no, they must be legally married if she's saying they went to the courthouse to file and they didn't. They must not own the house and she must not be saying she lives with them. That's got to be the only way. But I swear, I think if you're married, well, again, Atlanta laws could be different than New Jersey. Yeah. So at least she told him he knows Porsha and K. Michelle meet up.
But wait a second. Wait, I'm just reading my notes again. I put she hasn't told him she filed. Did she tell him?
I didn't think she did tell him.
Wait, no, I don't think she did.
He said maybe that's coming. Maybe that was coming attraction.
Maybe that's coming up. Yeah, maybe it is. I don't think actually. I'm looking
at
it.
At dinner, she didn't tell him.
She didn't tell him.
You're right. Right. So that must be a coming attraction. We have to pay attention next week to what he says because I could swear I heard him say this is going to be a public nightmare.
Yeah.
Porsha and K. Michelle meet up now. And she basically, right out the gate, she says to Porsha, because Portia's on her phone. She's like, are you going to listen? She's like, what is Kay so mad about?
Yeah.
She says, you said miscarriage. And Porsha says, I didn't know about your butt And K. Michelle says, either way, who says that?
Right.
And, Porsha goes into her own infertility issues and, did she apologize? I don't really think she apologized.
I wrote Porsha apologizes,
Okay, so
and that
she must
wasn't
have
her intention.
apologized.
And that wasn't her intention.
Yeah. And she did say, like, I'm glad you did it this way. Basically, like, you sat me down one-on-one, but K. Michelle does say Portia's full of shit. So I don't think this
I
is over for K. Michelle.
No, it's definitely not, because I also wrote down, K. Michelle said, "You don't ever have to think I won't talk about it if I'm mad. If you're in the South, we say bitch. I said bimbo." Porsche said, "So that was me you were talking about?" K. Michelle said, "Yes, I was bothered. Like, so Porsche didn't have any idea that bimbo meant her. And
Right.
honestly, I haven't heard the word bimbo since the 80s. Have you?
I know. No,
Right. Who says bimbo? I haven't heard bimbo since the 80s.
I don't know. I know. Yeah, I don't know.
Uh,
I don't think this is over between those 2, though.
I don't think so either. This is how we really start a sisterhood. I don't know. I don't know what's
That's what
going on
Porsha
with
said,
those two.
right?
Yeah, yeah. And let me see what else happened with Angela on Watch What Happens Live if I have anything else. Angela's daughter was there. I should say that. Angela and Andy asked her about, like, what's Charles think about the house, and she's like, she just laughed. She's like, he's not. He's not supportive of the house. And this is again, like, Angela is so unbothered by everything that goes on around her. And I like that she had her daughter there. Charles wasn't there. Like,
Really?
her daughter was there. No, Charles wasn't there. Her daughter was there.
Huh. You know what, though? I mean, they do have a young son, so, he likes being on the show, but I don't think he, like, wants to do it all the time. He's not
I think he
Louis.
could take it. No. Oh my God. No, nobody's Louis.
No,
Nobody's Louis. He could take it or he could leave it. And when he's there, he's going to be Charles. And you're not going to question whatever it is he says because he's going to say whatever he wants to say. And you know what? It's not going to bother Angela because she knows what her relationship is and she knows who he comes home to every night.
exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's how I feel about the whole thing.
Mhm.
I like Pinky. I like K. Michelle. I like the 2 new housewives.
Yes.
I feel like somebody needs to put Porsha in her. I'm not. Listen, I'm not loving Porsha. I'm not. I feel like
I
she's,
think
like, too
Portia
big for
came
her
back with a
britches.
big ol' head, like, yep. I think she thinks she's the OG of this show now. Phaedra, I mean, you don't hear shit from her.
She just
Not this
smiles.
season. She just
Not
smiles
yet.
and giggles.
She just smiles and giggles. And I mean, we're only on episode 3, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I love Atlanta. I've always loved Atlanta. It's always been my favorite. No, not my favorite. It was New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Beverly Hills. Maybe. Yeah. And those 4. Those 4 are my top favorites.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
which one I
really
would
wish they
put on
weren't
top.
bringing New York back.
I want New York to come back. I do. I miss New York. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I'm still going to watch it.
But do you miss the new New York? You miss those
Liked
girls? Like, I like
I
Jessel,
like
but
Cy. I like Cy. I like Jessel, and I did like Erin. Was not a big fan
couldn't
of Jenna
stand
Lyons. Wasn't a big fan of what was
Bryn.
her name? Not Bryn. I liked Uba. Was it Uba?
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked Uba.
She must be on to bigger and better things,
I
though,
mean,
Uba.
she's doing definitely bigger and better, but I did not like the girl that they brought in, Jenna Lyons'
Rebecca.
friend, Rebecca. Was it Rebecca? Did not like Rebecca.
And who was the other one? The lesbian, she had the
Well, that's who I
who am
thought
I
was
thinking
Rebecca.
of? Wait, yeah. I'm thinking so who
What
was
was
the
her
purse
name?
girl? I don't know. See what I mean?
Gosh, why can't I think of her name either? No, she was
I
not
know.
good. I can't even think of her name.
Yeah,
No, she
and
was
bringing
no.
Carol Radziwill back, like, what are we doing?
You know what? I'm interested to see what's going on with Carol. I am. I never disliked Carol, to be honest with you.
Or dislike well, I didn't really like how everything with Bethany played out between she and Carol. Love or hate Bethany, I know people are,
I
one extreme to the other, but I did kind of feel like when Tinsley came on, Carol did kind of just drop Bethany. And I think that Bethany, love her or hate her, she's very closed off because of her childhood. And I think it takes a lot for her to trust people and let them into her circle. And she did that with Carol. And then I did feel like Carol kind of blew her off when something shiny and new came along.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. And listen, like you said, love Bethany or hate her. I love Bethany. She
Yeah.
has been one of my favorite housewives for a very long time. I still enjoy Bethany. I still follow Bethany. I think the whole Carol thing went south when she started dating Luann's chef, who was dating Luann's
Her
niece
niece.
prior.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think that that's when the whole Carol thing went south.
Yeah. But
I
I mean,
mean,
she wound up staying with that guy for quite some time. Couple of
she did.
years.
No, she absolutely did. She did. But you're right. She did kind of blow Bethany off, and Bethany felt a way about that because she did open up to her. She did.
Yeah. Yeah.
If she could forgive Andy, I don't know. I'm interested to see what's going on. I don't feel like she can be bought. I don't feel like Carol can be bought.
No, she certainly doesn't need the money. She's got Kennedy money, for crying out loud.
Right. So I don't feel like Carol can be bought. If she can forgive Andy and come back, there's got to be something going on. Like, I'm interested to see what
She
that's all
must have a
about.
real friendship with Erin. I'm sure that's,
Is that what it is? If
I
that's
feel
it,
like
I'd like
she
to
and
see
Erin
it.
must have had a real friendship, yeah, prior to her coming back.
I would like to see that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
like to
you're
see
gonna.
real things. Yes, I am.
And now Sai's husband filed for divorce, so there is some meat to it, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like Jessel's husband. I can't
I
think of
do
his
too.
name.
I do
What is
too.
his name? Can't think of his name. It's been
My
so
God.
long.
It has been so long. That's the problem. People lose interest. Like, you know how I feel about Jersey. I have no interest in Jersey now.
I know.
0. But
We'll have to wait and see.
we
So
sure
I'm
will.
going to ask all of our followers and listeners, please head over to YouTube, hit subscribe, give us 5-star reviews, tell your friends, and thank you. Thank you for interacting with us. Comment. We comment back. You don't have to agree with us. I don't care if you agree
Right.
with us. Just
Yeah, we
don't
don't
be
care.
nasty about our appearance. That's the only thing I ask. And even if you are, I really don't even care. I seriously don't. I don't care. I don't care. This
Yeah,
is
we're
who I
kind of
am,
over
whether you
it by
like it or
now.
not.
Right.
Right? All
Yeah,
right. Bye.
for sure. Bye.